Hello, this video is about the objectives in Eternal Return. Okay, so the first two objectives we're going to talk about is Alpha and Omega. These are kind of like twins, basically. They look exactly the same, they do similar stuff, just it's like they're brothers, and Alpha is a little brother who doesn't hit quite as hard, and it's not quite as scary. So let's start with Alpha, because it spawns first. It spawns day 2, and it drops Myth. That's the main thing, you go for it. It's definitely worth contesting if you want to, and you you want the items from it, which you probably do, and it's the only really way to guarantee Myth other than buying it or RNGing it from something. Next is Omega. It has a little more difficult to kill than Alpha. It has a little more health, has another AoE ability, but yeah, it's not too difficult. It spawns day 3. It drops the Force Core, which again is a little better than Myth. The rotation items it makes is a little better than Myth, but honestly, they're both great. They're both worth contesting. One thing that I do with these is that if I'm a little down bad and I feel like I'm not quite strong enough to contest these objectives super well, is when both these guys spawn, you can a meteor also spawns, a meteor also falls. So what I sometimes do if I'm a little down bad is I will sit on a TP or right next to a TP. I'll pull up my map, wait till it turns to the day that when they spawn, and then if one's super contested, I go to the other, and you know what I mean. I can pick, I can see who's at which, and I can choose my matchups a little better, and that's just one way to kind of get more rotations for free, basically. The next objective is Wickline, which is the boss of the game, the big mega boss, kind of like Baron if you play League, or Fire Giant if you play Smite. It is very important to get. It spawns night 3 and it drops. The reason it's so important is, first off, it drops VF Blood. It's the only way to get VF Blood without insane RNG off of a purple crate or buying it. So it's the only way to get VF Blood. You also can get a tree, a myth, or a meteor. It's not all the time, but you usually get one of those. But almost probably even more important is Wick Buff. It's really good. Wick Buff. I feel like it's not as much of a win condition as it used to be, but it's basically a win condition. It's still very good, and I feel like if you have it, sometimes it's literally worth stealing Wick from someone and running away with Wick Buff and letting them have VF Blood. I think if I had to choose between VF or Wick Buff, I personally would choose Wick Buff. And the next thing I'm gonna talk about, the next mob or objective, I guess, is bears. You might not think of this as an objective, but when they first spawn, they're level 6, they don't drop anything. They don't drop any rare materials. But after that, they have a chance of dropping rare materials like tree, force core, meteor. So yeah, they're definitely worth contesting. They do not drop VF Blood. They used to, not anymore. So yeah, the bears, super important. They give you form, and they give you XP, weapon mastery, and you have a chance of getting an RNG item, which is super fucking important. So yeah, if you ever feel like, if you near any bears that are still up, kill them for sure. So next I'm going to talk about the rare materials I've been talking about. These are super important in building those transitional items that you need to win late game and win games, get number 1. Versus Myth. Myth's super important. You don't turn the mythical resource into another resource like you can with tree and meteor, and it doesn't spawn naturally in the sense that you can't go collect it. It just is from the bosses above. Still super important. The next one is tree. Tree does spawn naturally. You can go collect it night 1 and night 2 in 2 locations, so 4 trees total. I will put the tree locations up now. Very important to contest. You can also turn that tree into Glacier Ice, which is the tree and ice, and Samata Fire with the tree and a lighter. Next is Meteor. Meteor spawns randomly, basically. I'll put the spawns up on the screen, but you'll know a minute before they spawn where it's spawning, and there's one basically for every cycle of night and day. So starting night 1 until Wick spawns. Meteor can also be turned into Moonstone, which is meteor and stone. Super easy to make, but you need it to make some of those transitional items. The next rare resource is Force Core. Force Core is one of the most sought after. It's probably second most sought after, and the reason it is because you can make it. You can make a Force Core, but you need a tree and a meteor. So yeah, it's an expensive thing, but it's worth it. There's a lot of very good transitions you can make with a Force Core, and yeah, VF Blood also exists. A lot of people call it VF or Blood, whatever you want to call it. It is probably the most important resource. That's why that's why Wick is so important. It's not quite as difficult to get VF Blood as it used to be because you can buy it from the store, but VF Blood, super important. I recommend contesting or saving your credits because you want at least probably 1 VF Blood most of the times in most builds for late game transitions. So I've been talking about this a little bit through the video, purple crates and the ordering system. First, talk about purple crates. Purple crates can get you these rare materials. It is very rare. Most of the time you get like feather boots or something, a random item that you don't really need. But I recommend checking them. They take like 2 seconds. You can open them up. If it's not what you want, you can either pick it up and throw it in a bush, or you can, if it is, you get really lucky, you can go build a transitional. So check those purple crates. They're worth it. Also, ordering with credits. I'll put the prices up right now. Most expensive is VF Blood, which makes sense. It is the hardest one to get by far. It is super important. I personally don't use it as much as I should because I most of the time just spend my credits on being lazy and not wanting to go look for something. But if you ever are too scared, especially if you're newer, you might not feel comfortable contesting these objectives like Tree or Meteor or maybe Alpha Omega, Wick. So that is a very easy way for you. If you save up credits, you can get you can buy them, and it takes about 20 seconds. It takes 20 seconds. You order it. You are kind of painting yourself a target. A lot of people are going to push you, but you can order it. You can get it without having to contest those scary objectives, which is very, very good, especially if you're new. Okay, this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions about anything I said or anything I didn't cover, ask them in the comments. I'll get to them as soon as I see them. I'll answer them to the best of my knowledge. I have almost 1,000 hours in this game, so I know a thing or two, I guess. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.